Perhaps the most unique feature on the inside is the elevator bed, and people have done elevator beds before, and we're not the first one to do it, but we wanted a slightly different take. Most people are using garage door motors and motorized things. We decided to do a manual system, even though we're off grid and we probably will have power all the time. I'm like, well, what if something fails and I don't have power, and then we're on the road and we want to go to bed, and I can't let the bed down, so I came up with, it's all garage door parts. It's a chain hoist that's geared down to make it easier. And then the drums, the little pulleys, those are just the torsion bar on a garage door. That's the drums that pull the cable. So it's all off-the-shelf parts. I had to make some of the brackets to mount it to the wall. That was a little tricky, but in the end, it works pretty well. I'll show you. These guys, they flip out so that the bed has a spot to rest on. The back corners are fixed, so we don't have to flip those. So the chain keep right here, that keeps it from coming down. It will come down on its own. The bed's about 150 pounds, and so it's not terribly heavy, but it's heavy enough that you don't want to be under it when it comes down. So that's all we do to let it down. And we have been living it the past 2 weeks on the road, and it's quite nice to sleeping in this thing because we don't need a ladder. We can both just hop up here, queen size bed, 2 people, and then we do wake up, and we've got these 360 views. We have these big windows on, a circle window, and these 2 big square windows all around us. So it's just like, we don't have blinds, so it's almost a little too much. Sun's been rising at like 5:30. We don't usually get up till 7, so it's been kind of waking up early with the sun. It's cool, but it's a little too bright. We're going to get some window coverings. She's already picked out some pleated insulated blinds to come in here. Now this guy, we're not quite sure. I think it's just going to end up being some kind of drape that you can't make a circle blind. So. And this, where we're standing in right now, this is kind of the hub of activity of the whole space. This is our combined multi-purpose living, cooking, dining, and there's also guest quarters here. Yeah, so the whole unit sleeps 6 people. We've got this bed that we're going to show you here. This dining space, of course, converts to a bed as well, and then we've got the master bedroom in there. So I'm going to just start right off with the cool stuff here. So the bed is motorized, and comes down pretty quickly there. I'm going to hold it down, and it stops just above the TV, so you can still sit underneath it while it's down. A little ladder, and you just crawl up on there. It's just Matt and I in here, plus our dog, but a lot of our clients love to have their kids up there, whether it's for sleeping or just kind of having a break. It's really nice to have another place that's not just your bed. Not really a big fan of working in bed and doing other activities, so it's nice to kind of have a little loft area. Yeah, this is really our guest bed space. It's extra long. It's actually 90 inches long. It's 10 inches longer than a king-size bed. And this is built by a company called Project 2000. It was an Italian company, just recently got bought out by Lippert Components, but it's fantastic. The build quality is just second to none. It's rated for 600 pounds, so you get a lot of kind of real quality design into this product here. You can see I'm shaking it. There's really nothing that's moving. We put a 5-inch mattress on top of here. There's wood slats underneath, and this is it's very lightweight. It's all built out of aluminum. And what's also really cool about this is you can always leave it made or unmade if you like, because you just take it, put it up into the ceiling, and your bed's in a clean environment. You don't have to always make that bed. Yeah, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to converting spaces and making beds and things like that. Matt will tell you. It's funny, he's really big on kind of cleaning up major things, and then I'm really obsessed with like detailing things. Yeah, true. So yeah, makes sense. And so what's also nice about this is you can see, I'm down. You can raise it just a little bit to kind of go into this other mode. As big as you, honey. Yeah. So there you go. Now you can stop it there. You can see
we're now in an environment where we can both have people up there kind of snoozing as guests, but if say you're up late, you're hanging out, having a late, evening, drinking around the table, playing some cards, you can utilize both spaces at once, and we intentionally designed that. By the way, this also converts into a bed. This is the kind of the third sleeping space of the living vehicle, and this is the same exact size as the bed above us. It's also a full width, but it's again 90 inches long. So vertically, I don't know, tall people get to enjoy the space as well. It's not just limited to folks under under 6 foot.
The primary bed, we're using a horizontal Murphy or a wall bed system. So it just comes down right here. So what we do is we move this little fold up rocker out of the way, and our furniture actually rolls, so we can move it to the side. All right. Just bring it out here, and this guy is what actually ends up supporting your bed, so that they're not in your way when you get out of bed in the middle of the night. You don't end up kicking the furniture here. You've got a little reading light, outlets at bed height, then you're right next to the window. So for me, this is more enjoyable than a loft.
So this is what the beds look like without the bedding on them before we fold them up. And it's really easy. You just grab your side and it folds right up. And these are both 6-inch memory foam mattresses. The gap in the middle, we don't really feel it because he fit them perfectly together when he was doing the build. They were meant to touch exactly like they're supposed to, not have a gap in the middle, but still give us a king size bed, which opens up all this space here. And they also latch in place so that they don't fall down while you're driving down the road as well.
This is a modified deadbolt, which is questionable at best. So I took the back side off of a regular deadbolt, threw it away, drilled a hole, and had to cut a little steel pin to make one of the has a little bar in there that makes it operate the bolt. So had to add that little bar, but it's just a modification. It's only one-sided. The other side is not on the deadbolt. I took it off and threw it away.
Because it's flat where the mattress sits on it. It's kind of a toy hauler concept. We wanted to be able to put chairs back here, have people back here, just more expanded space where people are in. You can basically, I'm leaning on it. You're leaning on it. It's like a coffee bar type situation. You can eat up here.
I almost put my desk back here.
Yeah, it kind of got
going
thrown
sit
around
in
a
a
lot.
high chair and look out the window where they got to where are you going to put the chair? They already have chairs up there, and you got to cut somewhere.
If it doesn't work twice, you can't have it. So,
right.
but then he installed the pallets on the back. We just old pallets again, reusing something, and whitewashed them, and they serve as the headboard when the beds are down to keep the pillows from falling off. And then they also serve as they hold our cleaning products in the back because they have shelves naturally in them. So it holds like our broom and things back there to keep it out of the kitchen or keep it from falling. Again, everything falls as soon as you go to move.
Yeah.
It all shifts. So.
I was going to show this is just 2x4 framing. That's a 3/4 piece of plywood. This is 2x6 material, and it swivels on I believe that's a 1 1/8 or 1 1/4 conduit pipe that's just mounted through the plywood ends. It's all bolted to the wall with L brackets, and so none of it's going anywhere. It's all rock solid like built-ins. Hardware wise, it's probably around $100, and wood wise it was probably around $200. So they were a little bit pricey for what they look like, in my opinion, but for what they did for us, it was worth it. And if you go to start buying Murphy bed parts, they're really, really high end, and they're kind of cheap. To be honest with you, they're kind of flimsy and spring-loaded, and
they're size specific too, and none of them fit like I said. Most of them go up. Some of them
made
come
to
down.
do the long bed, the tall way go up, which would cover
Which
the
would
window.
not have worked for me.
This one here, it pivots on that bar, which is only half the bed. So technically, the weight of the bed, you really don't feel it. It's almost like it's weight distributed evenly, so it's pretty light to lift.
Yeah, anybody can lift them. I mean, I did it with one hand, and pulling them down is the same way. So they're very.
And these are regular residential door hinges, even though when it sits on the floor, the weight is against the hinge. I was going to just do 2 and opted for 4 just because I didn't want to have something start to sag or give or start to move.
The living area of the RV, certainly still the living area, but this is our bedroom or our bed. And Amanda and I built a queen size bed platform, and we are really happy with that decision. The RV originally had a convertible twin size bed, or it's like slightly even smaller than twin size, and it was innovative in its design, and especially for the age of this vehicle, innovative that they even built something like that at the time. But having to set the bed up every night, break it down in the daytime when we wanted to travel, was really not ideal for us. And it was also not very comfortable because it's like 60-year-old seats basically that you're sleeping on. So instead, we did a little bit of modification to the floor plan, and we built a platform and put in this queen size bed, got ourselves a cheap memory foam mattress on Amazon, which has been actually really comfortable. I don't think you need to spend $1,200 to get yourself a cheap one. And yeah, it's kind of cool. It's perpendicular to the length of the vehicle, and it's nice because we can flip our heads to either side depending on the, if we're on a little bit of slant. I'm really sensitive to having my head up or downhill, so I like to always have my head uphill. So, we can put our heads at either end, and that works out great.